the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's...
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's question, which comes from Kelsey Ann in P7, which is, why can't we breathe underwater? First thing to say is, holding your breath can be dangerous. Yeah, we've all done it, but you do have to be careful, especially if you're in a swimming pool or a bath. We all know how gravity works, but we don't test it by running off a cliff like this guy. So in the same way, please be sensible. To find out about breathing, we need to know a bit about air, the stuff around us just now. Our air is mostly made up of two things, nitrogen and oxygen, and the important bit for us is the oxygen. Oxygen is like food for our bodies. Our muscles need it to work, and our brain definitely needs it. Our brain is only 2% of our weight, but takes about 20% of the oxygen. Now, if you haven't done percentages yet, and you will, then all you really need to know is our brains need a lot of oxygen or they'll get really unhappy. So what happens when we try to hold our breath? We breathe in oxygen and use it up. When we do, we make something called carbon dioxide. Think of it like the exhaust from a car. It's something we need to get rid of. So if we hold our breath, we can't get rid of this carbon dioxide and it starts building up in our blood. This is a bad thing. So our bodies have little blobs called carotid bodies that monitor our blood. A bit like someone in a factory checking that all the things being made look okay. The signals are then sent to the brain with bigger and bigger warnings, and in the end our brain takes over and forces us to breathe. If we don't breathe, our brain can survive for about 5 minutes and then it actually starts to die. And if our brain dies, well, we die too. Okay, boys and girls, as you can see, here's Kelsey Ann. You're not Kelsey Ann? That's not Kelsey Ann. Who are you? That's Ben. I'm sorry, I get confused. Anyway, what we're going to do now is a little experiment. So we need you all up on your feet, find a space in the classroom. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Nice space around you. All you're going to be is you need a spot to jump on, okay? Great, everyone's in place. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run on the spot for 30 seconds and Ben's going to run on the spot for 30 seconds and I want you all to join us. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my breath and I want you to watch what happens to me. Ben's going to do it normally. Boys and girls, you don't hold your breath because it's not good for you. And if your teacher sees you holding your breath, the teacher will stop you. So just do it normally. We want you to run on the spot as fast as you can for 30 seconds. Okay, I'm going to count you in. I'm going to get my watch here. You'll have a special screen to do it with. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So Ben's a little bit out of breath, which is all right, but I'm completely destroyed. How did you get on? Why do you think Ben was so much better than me? Who knows? How are you, Ben?
Fine.
Excellent. Ben's fine. I'm not. I need to lie down, so we can shut down the video here and go to the next bit. Bye, everybody. The difference between us and fish. Now, we know about us. We need to answer Kelsey Ann's question. Why can't we breathe underwater? Anyone who's accidentally swallowed water will tell you it isn't nice. You come up choking and it really hurts. So clearly us and fish are made differently. The first thing is that there's a lot less oxygen in water than air. About 20 times less. So we'd have to breathe about 20 times more than we do to get enough oxygen if we were underwater. Also, fish don't breathe in the same way we do. They have, everyone, that's right, gills. Fish breathe in through their mouths and the water passes out through the gills, so they don't have to get rid of the water they've taken in. That picture is a sort of fish. The water's going in through its mouth and flowing out through the gills, they don't have to breathe the water out again, which is a very good trick. Some of you know this already. If sharks stop swimming, they die. That's because they need to keep the oxygen flowing past their gills. If we breathe underwater, we'd need to get rid of all the water we've breathed in before taking in a new lot, and we're not made to do that. The water stays in our lungs and we drown. But humans are pretty amazing creatures, and even though we can't breathe underwater, we can train ourselves to stay underwater for longer. This is called free diving, and it's pretty cool. I'll shut up for a minute and let you watch this lady free diving, but just remember, these people have spent years training for this, so please don't go copying them. So there you have it, the reasons we can't breathe underwater. 1. There's not enough oxygen in water for us to take in enough. 2. Our lungs can't get rid of water easily, unlike fish, who just pass it through themselves. 3. If we don't breathe for a while, our brain gets very unhappy and takes over, forcing us to breathe. Thanks to Kelsey Ann and Ben for this week's question. It was a good choice. If you're looking to have your question answered, please tell your teacher and they'll give your question to me.
Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore, they work all day. Out in the sun, they slave away. While the devoting full time, floating under the sea.